Good morning. Welcome. I'm Paul Beal, and I am here to give you a little tip about painting. This morning I'm working on two portraits of some friends of mine, their brother and sister, and I have realized recently that oftentimes I do have difficulty keeping my attention span going. So here's one little trick, which is work on two at once. So you feel you've reached an impasse on one, you jump over to the other one, and short attention span is sort of a fact of life of people living with social media and iPhones and trying to keep connected and everything else, and it happens to us. So if you can find strategies for how you can break your time up and work shorter periods of time in those moments when you can't really get that concentration running, that will help a lot. So what I have here is, I'll go closer, you see I've got a basic drawing with the information that I want, the placement of features, and some of the more telling details of things. I try to get as much details in as I can on that drawing. Basically I need to get those landmarks enough so that I can sort of connect the dots as I'm going through painting without tearing my hair out, basically. It happened years ago, as you'll see if you've seen my picture. All right, so the real tip that I have here today is how to move through this underpainting stage. Now, underpainting is your first coat over a painting. It's your first guess of your colors and your values. And I'm not shooting for exact perfection with this. I want to get something close enough that I can get to the fine-tuning in later stages. And what I've done to try to save myself a bit of time and also to commit myself to working hard today and tomorrow to get this underpainting done is I've mixed a range of, it's basically a value range here, running from this color, which is called shade gray. It's useless for me to pull the tube out, but it's basically a tube of gray paint that I buy. Now you can mix your own shade gray. You can take black and white and add it together and make a gray. You can add a touch of another color to modify the color of your gray. But I find it useful, since I'm a professional artist, to buy as many tubes of different colors as I can. And that doesn't mean that I'm sticking only with that color as I'm mixing, but it gives me, through successive applications of paint on this painting, I can grab it really quickly, squeeze it out, and then go on. And I remember next time I come to it which color I used. Whereas when I mix it, I might spend quite a lot of time mixing to get to that color. So what I've done is I've done a grayscale ranging from my brightest white to the darkest dark, which in this case I'm just using the pure shade gray color. Now if I want it to go any darker, I might add a color like raw umber or black. Oh, and I know there's a lot of you going to be cringing out there. This is an artist that uses black. Yes, I do. I've used it all my career. If somebody tells you it's not a color, they're kind of lying to you. All right, so I have a grayscale of fairly even steps ranging from my darkest dark up to my brightest white. And when I mix those out, it helps me because I don't have to do nearly as much mixing as I'm applying. Now I will mix in between these two values, in between say here and here or there and there, to get a little bit closer to the value that I'm looking for. And the other thing that this does, and this is a really helpful hint, is that I've committed myself. I've committed myself. This paint, since it's oil paint, is going to stay fresh on the palette, let's say somewhere between 2 and 5 days. So I need to really decide, okay, today I'm going to sit down and I'm going to use up as much of this color as I can to get these paintings moving along and move along to the next ones that I want to do. Because really, I'm not saying that you want to push and hurry to get works done, but the sooner you get done with, you finish works as an artist, the sooner you can get them out to the world, you can start showing them, and hopefully you can start making your living from doing them. So, and that's a pressure that will happen once you get going. So that is the tip for the day. Sometimes, not all the times, think about pre-mixing out a palette, committing yourself to sit down and painting for the next day or two, and move your paintings forward. Thank you very much. Tune in soon. I'll have more helpful tips, and soon my Patreon account will be up, so please check me out there. I'll have posts on it on Facebook and on my Instagram, and I'll get it up on my website. So as soon as I do that, please join me, and welcome along for the ride.